Most people think that pruning trees is just removing a bunch of branches, but if done wrong, you can leave your trees permanently damaged or worse, dead. But when done right, you can have a beautiful tree that looks great for decades to come. In this video, we're going to go over when to prune a tree, the proper tools for pruning a tree, and perhaps most importantly, where to prune the tree so that it looks awesome year after year. Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Warren, and you're watching The Plant Doctor. Let's get started. Proper tools for pruning. There's 4 main tools that you're going to need in order to prune trees properly in your yard. We're going to start with the smallest and move up to the largest. The smallest are hand pruners, and there's 2 types of hand pruners, and they both have very specific tasks, at least in my personal opinion. One is a bypass pruner. Bypass pruners has a blade that passes past a plate. In my personal opinion, these are best for cutting living tissue. The other type is an anvil pruner. Anvil pruners have blades that lay flat across a plate. And in my opinion, these do best on dead or diseased or dying wood. The reason I do not like using anvil pruners on living tissue is the anvil tends to crush the living tissue and you do not get a very clean cut. Dried out tissue, like dead tissue, these work very, very well. Both the bypass pruners and the anvil pruners are ideal for branches that are less than 1 inch in diameter. Anything larger in diameter, we need a larger tool. For removing branches between 1 and perhaps up to as big as 3 inches in diameter, my recommendation would be use a pair of bypass loppers. As you can see here, they have very long handles. You can get lots of leverage, and the pivot point is designed in a fashion to increase the leverage for you. For elevated branches that you cannot reach from the ground, I recommend a pole pruner, also a pole saw. This is a 2-in-1, has a telescopic pole that can go all the way up to 18 feet tall. It also has a retractable saw blade with a recurved blade. But for most purposes, I'm able to get away with just using the bypass pruner at the top. And let's be honest, ladders can be dangerous in the landscape. This is a great tool to help keep you off of a ladder and hopefully keep you safe as well. When should you prune your ornamental trees? This is a complicated question, and it really depends on the plant species that you're looking at. But we can really break this down into one simple rule, and it's a general guideline for most pruning in the landscape in general. We refer to it as the May rule. If the tree is flowering before May the 1st, this is for the northern hemisphere. In southern hemisphere, you'll want to reverse this. It's blooming in early spring. We want to wait until after the flowers have bloomed out. For example here, this saucer magnolia to my right. We would not want to prune this tree right now. It is loaded with buds. We would not want to prune this in the middle of winter because the buds were already there. The ideal time to prune this tree is immediately after it flowers. So anything blooming in early spring, we want to hold off until, say, early summer to prune. If you're dealing with trees that do not have flowers, so for example, a Japanese maple, we can prune those almost any time of year, but I still prefer to prune them during the dormant season, late winter going into early spring, just because it's defoliated. We can see the branch structure a little bit better, and that shows us where we need to make our cuts. So remember your May rule when pruning ornamental trees. Cherries, you want to wait on. Early blooming magnolias, you want to wait on. Red buds, you want to wait on. Anything blooming February, March into April, just hold off until around June or July and then prune them at that time. When pruning ornamental trees, now that we know the correct time of year to do it depending on species, there's 4 things that we need to look for. And the first thing that I'm looking for in this tree are crossing branches. Anywhere 2 branches cross each other and touch, when the wind blows, the bark is going to rub off where those 2 limbs are rubbing back and forth. This is going to lead to an exposed cambium layer. Cambium is the vascular layer of the plant, and that's the site for infection to get into the plant and potentially cause harm to an otherwise beautiful tree. So go look at your tree, find any branches that are crossing, in particular if they're touching each other, and remove one of those branches. You'll want to remove that branch all the way back to the main base of that particular branch. Take it all the way back to where it originates. And remember, we're dealing with living tissue here, so we're going to use our bypass pruners and not our anvil pruners. The second thing we're looking for are branches that are growing towards the middle of the canopy. This is only an opportunity for the first thing that we talked about to happen is a branch comes from one side of the tree towards the middle, a branch comes from the other side of the tree towards the middle. They'll start to rub each other as they meet there at that intersection. Additionally, we want our tree to be open in the middle. This allows for more airflow. It reduces the amount of potential pathogens that can live on the leaves during the summer. I live in a very humid environment, and so anytime we can get more airflow into the middle of the tree, that's reducing fungal and bacterial risk that I may have with this tree. The third thing you need to look for, I've really grouped two things into one category here. The first being suckers. So suckers are advantageous growth that are coming up from the roots. For example, on this Yoshino cherry, they're notorious for growing suckers from the roots. You'll want to take a pair of bypass pruners and remove these. And if they get large enough, like some of these down here below, you may even need a pair of loppers to remove these. But take care of these because eventually they'll look unruly because they're not going to stop growing. With water sprouts, this is what I would call, in quotations, a wild hair that's growing off of a tree. And so it can come from the middle of the tree. It can be an external branch that's just gotten completely wild. If you see something that looks really long and out of place, you can go ahead and remove that as well. Remember, both of these are living tissues, so use your bypass pruners. The last thing we want to look for is perhaps the most important. Look for dead or diseased wood on your ornamental trees. Now on this Japanese maple, this is a Tamukiamu Japanese maple. They're notorious for in the winter getting ends that are dead. So I need to go through with anvil pruners. To me, these prune dead wood better than the bypass pruners and remove the dead wood. So how do we know we're looking at dead wood? Living wood is going to be on most trees, it's going to look green, red, orange, or a light brown. On dead wood, it's going to be more of a darker brown going towards black. Another thing that you can do to test if the wood is living or dead is take it and try to bend it between your thumb and your index finger. If it's supple, that means it's probably still living. If it's brittle and it breaks off, that means that it's dead and it needs to be removed. Remove the dead wood all the way back on the limb to the nearest living bud. So on this tree, you can see the buds pretty easily. This is alternate leaf, so you got a bud on each side of the node there. And so we're just going to take it back to that next living bud and let it grow from that point. I hope this video has helped you to know when to prune, what material you need to prune, the timing of year that you need to prune, and so that in the spring you have a beautiful tree for decades to come. I've got some mockingbirds here in this bush behind me. It's mating season. I need to get this wrapped up before I get dive bombed. Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor. Until next time, happy gardening.